Okay, hi there guys, welcome back to another VB.NET tutorial about developing a library management system. Last time we worked on displaying the queue for a given book using the Windows client, and today we are going to work on displaying the queue using the web interface. Now the thing we have here uh, is we didn't provide a user interface to display uh, the available books, and we need to do that because later on a user need to press a button, or let's say select a book to reserve it, okay, or to book it, for example. Okay, so this is what we want to do. Now we are going to do it. So first let's go to our application, and let's go to our web, make it as the starter project, no problem here. Okay, and let's open the web application. Let's go to the workspace, and let's display the designer, and we get something like this. So this is the basic designer, no problem with that. Now we could add the code or update things in the workspace itself, but this would complicate things a little bit, because the same page will have to display or allow us to search books. The same page should display the books we borrowed, and the booking information and the fines, etc. So this would complicate things. Instead, what we could do is create another page to search for books. Okay, so now based on that, we're gonna add, let's go and add a new item, and it's gonna be our form, and I'm gonna say select book. Okay, and click add, and you get something like this. Now let's go to the student workspace again, and we will say Control A, Control C, go over here, go to the design, Control A, delete, Control V. We got almost the same things. Okay, next we are gonna double click here, and let's go to the workspace, and now we will copy some of the code available. There we go, Control C and Control V. Okay, so what we have done so far is setting the checks for student information, no problem, and also setting the sign out and setting the command to go to change the password. Okay, we didn't do anything special so far. Now, what we need to do is to provide a link that will take us from this menu into the student workspace. Okay, so now I will get to this one, and I will say edit menu items. Let's go edit menu items. So there's a change password. Yeah, there's one thing I've just noticed here. This is here you can see navigate URL, which means which URL to follow. Previously, what I did is, when you double click a command, you will get into this item on the server, and you will execute uh, the branching. Okay, uh, well, we could do it in an easier way, like this. Okay, I will say edit menu items. I will add a new one. I'm gonna say search books. Wonderful. Search books. Now the navigate URL will be the page select books, or select the book. I'm gonna say OK. I'm gonna say OK here. No problem with that. Let's go to the select book ASPX, and let's modify this. Edit menu item. Okay, add here. You can say this was smart search books, and this is the one being selected. Workspace should not be selected here, and say OK, so that we can know which page is being used here. I'm gonna save this, and let's let us test things out. Wait a few seconds, And here we have Todd123 and login. Come on. Okay, so I will go to search box, and actually we went to the page here without doing any programming. Okay, so there's something good. So what am I gonna do here? I will get rid of all programming stuff here. Let's stop here. All the programming we don't need will be removed. So I'm gonna say edit menu items. The change password, we will have to navigate to the URL, change password, click OK, and the workspace, we will have to navigate to the URL, what is it, student workspace. Press OK. Nice and simple. Okay, we finished this one. Let's go to the workspace. Double click on that, and again we will remove this one. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so yeah, let's go and say edit menu items again. Now the workspace will get us to the workspace itself. Okay, and the password will get us to the, where's that, student change password, and the search box get us to select book. Okay, and one last thing here to do is change password window. Go over here, double click over here, and it seems we also have some code, so remove that, no problem. And we will edit menu items, and I'm gonna say search, oops, search box. Wonderful. So now for this one, set the navigation again. What was it? Workspace. Okay. For the password, of course, we will get into the same change password page, and the books. As I remember, there is a way that you could. Sorry. There is a way that allows you to, well, get rid. Sorry. Create a master menu, and it will solve everything for you right away. Okay. Yeah, you could put this in a master page. Anyway, I didn't do that, so I'm just trying to make things work with minimal setting. Don't want to do extra work, but anyway, it seems that I'm doing more. So let's try it out before doing anything else. And there are errors. Nice. What do we have? Unable to copy, blah blah blah, to pin debug, blah blah blah. Okay, let's build this one again. To failed. Okay, let's have a look. Maybe I have to stop this now. Let me just display the error messages. Maybe I need to remove this error list and make it go down here. Okay. And I will copy file database log LDF, and I will copy file MDF to another process. Blah blah blah. I don't care about these errors. And yeah. Okay. Solution Explorer. Oh, it's, never mind. Okay. So let me build this again. Unexpected error here. Let's put this one here. One failed. I will copy file user desktop system database MDF to bin database. First cannot access the file because it is being used by another process. So there is a file being used by another process. Okay. Now, how do we solve this? The database is still being accessed, but by what? Right, by what it is being accessed. Okay, if I put it on the release mode, Let's run it run this and see how it goes. Seems for some reason it's trying to make a copy of the database file, okay, and overwrite previous one. This shouldn't happen. This should not happen. Okay, so let us go to the debug mode here. No problem. Go to file, users, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's go to data. We don't need this one. I'm gonna say delete this file and say OK, no problem. Let's go to this one and let's go to the database folder. Okay, no problem. I'm not sure about this. Should I delete it? I'm not sure. Let's have a look, see if it can be opened. Come on, dude. Okay. Now this one's working. Let me try again now. Okay, now all succeeded. It seems that I had to remove this file, whatever that file is. Okay. And .123 go login, change the password, go to the workspace, search for books, change the password, whatever. Okay, so it is working. Let's continue now. Now we come to the important part, and the important part here is searching the books. Okay, so how do we display the books? Now, one of the controls that allow us to select books or records, to be exact, is a grid view. There is a grid view control here in ASPX. So you can see here, if you look at the available controls in the groups, you could go to data and you could go to grid view. Sorry about that. Okay, so drag this one and drop it here. You select auto format and choose a style that is complementary to our colors here. Okay, we'll use this one. Now the important part is here, choose a data source. For data source, we will select a new data source. As you can see here, it's going to ask us where is the data coming from. We'll say database here. Okay, this is where data is coming from, and here we need to specify the ID. So just say DSID, data source ID, and we would say OK. And now it's going to ask us about the connection string. We will use the same standard connection. Okay, this is the connection of our database. Okay, and now of course in your machine the connection will be different. So let's continue. And this is connection will be saved with this name. Say next. Wait a few seconds. And what is gonna ask us which table information to be displayed. We want to display available books. We want to display the book title, author, publication year, press subject, shelf number, and let's say barcode. Okay, so these are the information we want to display to the end user, and that will be it, I suppose. And I will say next, and you could test the query to make sure it works, and you get the results, and finish. Okay, so now if you look at the table, you see that the headers of the columns are the same as the one in the database. You want to put spaces or change the header, so you could say edit columns over here. And now in the select fields, you can see here this book title. I will change that to, well, title. Author will be changed to author. Okay, publication year, this is going to be what? The year. Okay, shelf number, it will be shelf. Just use shelf. The barcode. Okay, I suppose that's it. This is what you need. As for the ones here, these are related to type of columns. You could add buttons. We will see how to add buttons and stuff like that. Okay, so continuing the recording. We'll see later on how to add buttons, but for now we just want to say OK now. You can see the columns are being displayed correctly, the column names, or not correctly, but the way we want. And now we need to test this, so run. Wait a few seconds, and okay, there we go. So this is start 123 and login and search books, and you can see the information of the books available right here. So the next thing we want to do, we will not do a full search right now. We just want to provide a way to book or perform booking. So we will need to add a button over here after the barcode to allow us to perform the booking operation. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, it's very easy. Again, we will get into here and we will say edit columns, and let us go down here. You can see there is a command, there is a button. Wait a second, you see the command fields. Okay, so the command fields allows you to do standard database operation right away, but we don't want that. We want to do or use a button field. I can see it's here. So we will add this one, and then we will have to work on it. So we can display it as a link or a button. You could also use an image if you would like to. Okay, so accessible header text, we don't want that right now. The text being displayed, it will be what? It will be request. Okay, and when you this is the title of the button, so when you press request, you are requesting this book, so it will be added into your queue. This one we want to do. The command name is going to be request, request. Okay, you need this one in order to distinguish which button has been pressed. Okay, you could have multiple buttons, so this will help you out later on. Okay, what do we have? Also insert visible, can't remember what that is. Okay, show header, blah blah blah, it's visible, data text field, this is bound to text property of the column, blah blah blah, and there's the control style, footer, header, item style. Okay, so you could perform some modification here, okay, if you would like to. Anyway, I will leave everything as it is, and press OK, and you give this one. What we need to do next is process the command or process this button. So a book is being reserved based on the correct request. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we need to identify which row is being selected. How do we do that? We will double click on the data grid view, and what you see here, this is the event selected index change. You don't want to focus on this event. What you want to do is go to the grid view 1 and select, there is a row command. What we added is a command button, so we need to go to the row command. It's here. Okay, so here in this method we will do the processing. So we have a parameter over here, it is E for the event, and you can see here a grid view command event arguments. Okay, and we are going to use this one. So first we need to make sure that the correct command or column is being selected. In our case it's 1, but usually you need to check. So fe dot command name equals request. Then what happens in this case? We need to get the index, right? So we will just say msg box a dot command argument. And the reason I'm doing a message box, first, this is wrong, you don't do it, because this message box will appear on the server, not at the client. This is just for debugging. I want to show you what happens. What does this include? Okay, so we will run this and we will see what it is gonna display. Come on. Okay, so this is Todd123 and their login, and search the books, and you can see the buttons. We click here and you get this one. You can see now it's 0. When we select the second row, you can see 1. So the command argument is a parameter stating the row number being or the row number triggering the event. Okay, we will stop this one and we will continue based on that. So now dimension row number equals this one. Wonderful. So now we got this one. We need a way to identify the book number. We want to perform the booking. So if we go to our library, just to remember a few things here, when we want to perform booking, we have the queue class. Okay, and the queue class store information in the queue table. So let's go to the queue table now. Okay, just to remind ourselves a little bit. So what do we need? We need the student ID. We can get the student ID from the session. We need the book ID. We don't have the book ID. We need to get that. And we need the book order. Okay, so we need these things. So first, how do we get the book ID? Well, if we go to the user interface, okay, check this out. The graded view is changing its location. It has a mind of its own. Okay, so put it back. Okay, you don't see a book ID here. Okay, so what we need to do is to figure out a way to get the book ID. Basically, one of the easiest things to do is use the barcode in order to obtain the book ID. So we will modify our we could modify our code. Okay, so let's go to the queue class. Okay, this is our queue class, and we'll try to simplify things a little bit. Go, 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 go. Let's insert, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there we go. So we will create a new method, a new shared method, okay, that will allow us to perform insertion. Okay, right away. So public shared function insert eq entry. Okay, now book barcode as string. Okay, we have what? dbms as dbms class, followed by book barcode, followed by student id as string, and all of this is what as boolean. Okay, try catch. So now this method is used to insert into queue entry. That's very straightforward. Now, if any error happens, what do we do? dbms.rollback and return false. Now let's get to this one. First thing, we need to get the book ID from the barcode, right? So let's go to the book class. Do we have something like this? Okay, so there is the set book ID, set book title, set book author, blah blah blah, and what also do we have? Get press, get available copies, and so on. Insert into database. Okay, load from database. Was value changed? Update DB. Remove from database. Full. Get okay. So we don't have anything that allows us to get the book ID from the barcode. So we will have to create our own method. Okay. Public shared function get book ID from barcode. Okay. dbms as dbms class followed by book barcode as string, then biref book ID as string as boolean, and try catch again. And here, what are we gonna do? This method is used to get book ID from a given barcode. Okay. If any error happens, dbms.rollback and well, return false. if wait a second, this should be as boolean. I'm sorry, the function should return a boolean. Now dimension s as string equal dbms dot create result set, and select star from books where sorry barcode equal at 0 book barcode. Wonderful. If dbms.read and checkpoint is a file, then if there's a record, we will say book id equal dbms get column value as followed by book id. Wonderful. And then what should we do? dbms.close result set, which is s, and return true. Otherwise, dbms.close result set s and dbms.rollback and return false. Okay, so this method will get us the book ID from the barcode. Okay, very straightforward. Let's go to this one now. Let's continue. So what do we have? So dimension book ID as string equals nothing. If not, here we go. We should say book class dot get book ID from barcode dbms followed by book barcode. There we go. And we need the book ID to get the result back, because this one is by reference. As you can see, the parameter is by reference, so we'll get result then. So if not, it means it failed. In that case, we just say dbms.rollback and return false, which means we didn't insert the record. Otherwise, we finish the first thing. Now we need to get a dimension booking order equal common db operation get next value. We get the next value, and now we will create the object dimension q obj as a new q class. Okay, so q obj dot set book id. This is going to be what? Book id. Wait a second. Q obj dot set booking order, and the q obj set student id. Now all is being set. If not q obj insert into dbms followed by true, then it means there's an error dbms.rollback and return false. Otherwise we say return true. And that's it. This method will allow us to insert the record into our requests or our booking into the database. So save this one here. Let's go now to the user interface or the code here. So now we got the book number. Here we will need to do a number of things. So put a try catch. First thing, we need to open connection with the database. Dimension dbms as a new library management system dbms class, and dbms.opendb. Wonderful. Okay. Okay. And after opening the connection, right? I suppose we need to say dbms.close database connection, and in between we should say library management system q class dot insert q entry, and we need to pass what? dbms followed by the book barcode and student id, which I don't have yet. So get the book barcode. So dimension barcode as string equal grid view 1 dot rows of this is going to be row number followed by cells of, I need to specify which cell here. So I'll go to this one. The barcode is cell 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Yeah, it's the 7th one. So yeah. Okay, dot text. You don't use value, use text here because this is an HTML. Sorry. Okay, so now let's continue. So I was saying that in our case here, we don't use dot value, we use dot text because this is an ASP.NET control. Okay, so that don't be confused. The properties are not exactly the same, the behavior is not exactly the same. Okay, so we got the barcode. Next, we need to get the student ID, right? So here we should say dimension student object as student. Wait a second. Library management system student class and student object equals session of student. Wonderful. Okay, so we got this one, and what we do now is get the student ID. So now, if not, for example, let's see this method. We have database information. We need to specify the barcode. We already got that. We have student object dot get student object dot get. What was that? Oh, sorry, this is wrong. This should be student class. Wonderful. And what we have here, student object get student ID. Wonderful. So I get this one. Then, okay, here we have error message. So it means there's some kind of error here. And what should we do also? Now, if this one doesn't equals okay, as I remember, then was the okay capital small. I can't remember that anyway. Display error message. Wonderful. And here, if there's any exception, display error message. Now, if everything goes well, we will just have to forward back to our workspace. So server transfer. What do we have? We have the page. It's called what? It is called student workspace.spx. Student workspace.spx. Wonderful. And that's it. Okay. So let us test this first. Save that. And before that, let's display the queue and show table data. Come on. Okay, so it has information. I will delete the information and say okay. Good. Save things and now run. Wonderful. And Todd 123 go login, search books, request this one, and it worked. And if you want another confirmation, we'll just right click show table data, and what do you see? Okay, this is the record we just booked. Okay, very easy, very straightforward. Okay, so we need to do another thing. Is display error message. So any error could happen. You don't want the application to crash. So what could we do here is sorry about that. So we could sorry, let's go here. Okay, I will add a control here. It's going to be a label. Go over here, label. This is a label. Wonderful. And we need the properties. We will remove the text and we will call this error msg, because for the border color is going to be what? Is going to be red. Okay, and the for color it will be red also. So there's another red, two reds. Okay. Yeah, and also this should not be visible. Okay, and yes, so now it's being selected, and this is false. And I will save this one. Now, let's go back to our code. So when there is an error over here, we just say error msg.text equals error opening the database. For example, error msg.visible equal true. Wonderful, and exit sum. It's as simple as that. And now we would say here error msg.text equals error requesting the book. Okay, error msg.visible equal true, and dbms.close db. Okay, and yeah, this is it. And if there is any other error, we have error msg.text equals unexpected error. Okay, and error msg.visible equal true, and that's it. Basically, you want to store the details or log them into a log file, but you know, this is a very simple application. We don't want to bother ourselves with such details. Okay, so we added these errors. As you can see, the error message is very simple, just a control that is hidden. When we need it, we just say to the server to show it. And now we will run and try to book or request the same book again, and we should get an error. So here, what do we have? We have let's have a look. We need what? We should say Todd123 and login and search books, and I will say request here error requesting the book. Now I will say request the second one. It worked. Now if I want to request the second book again, error requesting book, you already requested that before, so there is no use requesting it again. Okay, so we finished this one, and now we will display. We will do the thing we are supposed to do, which is displaying the queue for a book. It's not the queue for the book, but the books I am requesting. Okay, so yeah, not exactly the same. Sorry. Anyway, I will close this, and I will close this, and I will close this, and this as well, and this as well. Okay, I closed everything. Let's go to the workspace. This is a student workspace. Now, what we are going to do here is displaying a table. Content of that table will be the books I am requesting. Books under request. Okay. Before doing anything else, I will add a table here. Okay, just to order things a little bit. Let's go to HTML. Where is a table? I need a table. There's a table. Drag and drop here, and yeah, I will say properties, and wait a second. Oops, not this one. Don't want this. Okay. Why does it always change? Wait a second. Sorry, not this one. Toolbox. Right? Was it the same? Yeah, I think it was. I did the correct choice for the first time, I think. Okay. No. This one. Oh, sorry about that. I'm getting confused between the server controls and the standard HTML. I need right now a standard HTML table. This is what I need. So I will go here, drag and drop, and we got this one. I will remove these cells and delete columns, delete these two columns, and now we have this simple table. Wonderful. Now here, books you are requesting. Okay, there is an R missing, here would be books you have, okay, and here finds, okay, and so on. So now what we should do, I will display the books you are requesting. How do we do that? Again, it's also a table. So we will go to the toolbox and we will do something very similar. We will go to the grid view, drag and drop it in here. Auto format it to be colorful and say OK. And now we will choose the data source, add a new data source. Again, it's going to be a database. Okay, data source ID, and I'm going to say OK. It will be LMS, no problem. Click next. And it's going to be books. Again, book title, book author, publication year, a press subject, and shelf number and barcode. Okay, and we will say next. Test the query. Come on. Okay, wonderful. Say finish. Okay, and next we will say edit columns again, and we will modify the headers. Okay, you press shelf number and barcode, and enter and enter. Okay, so if we run this one, this has a standard SQL statement. It will display all available books. Okay, so I will show the table data just to show you something here. Okay, I will say delete. Yes. Okay, so now the student's booking one book only. So we will save that, and I am gonna run this application. I will say Todd123 and login. You see, although I've booked only one copy, I am seeing all the available books. In this case, there are 2 books. Okay, so this is wrong. I should see 1 book only. So the problem here is that the SQL statement is returning everything. So let's go here to the data source here. Okay, and let's go to its properties. We are gonna change its SQL statement. Do you see this selected query? We're gonna click here on the ellipse, and now yeah, we'll work here. So now we will select from books where book ID in select book ID from what queue. Okay, so now this will return to us only the books in the that are the students requesting, but this will also return wrong results because it will not return your books. It will return everyone's books. Okay, so let's say I am requesting A, your friend requesting B, it will return A and B. But if you are logging in, you should get an A. If your friend is logging in, you should get B only. So we will also add another where student ID equals at st. Now we will add a parameter here. So we say add parameter. Now the parameter name is going to be st. Now where is the value coming from? You can see here there's a parameter source. We'll change this into select the session. Okay, the session field is going to be student ID. So we need to have a variable called student ID in this session that contains actual student ID. We will do this in a second. So we'll say OK, and it is done. What we need to do now, let's go to the login page. When do you set the student ID? Actually, you need to set it before entering this page. So let's go to the default page, and let's go to the login part, and we will add the student ID here. id dot get student id. Wonderful. And now we will save this and run the application. So continuing the recording, now we are going to test this. We will say Todd and 123 and login. And you can see only one book appeared, the one we booked. So now let's go to search books and we will choose the second book, which is some crazy guy, and say request. And now you can see the two books we requested, okay, available in here. Maybe I need to put some space between the books you have and the fines, etc. Okay, so we have done what we are supposed to do. I think. So let's go put enter, enter, double enters, double enter, and we run this again. Okay, so here we have Todd and 123 and login. Okay, so everything seems to be fine. What we could do next is, let's say, removing the booking, okay, or removing our request. We also could put a button here and we will do the same trick again. That's as simple as that. Okay, so I suppose that's it for today. Okay, before continuing, I think the most important thing you have seen in this tutorial is how you could link this data grid control to your database, okay, and how you could set the SQL and its parameter. Now the parameter here is provided from the session, and basically in our code here, before going to the workspace, we prepared the session ID because the workspace will need that here to be exact, because this control, the DSID, will need that session ID in order to perform the work, create the workflows correctly, and execute it and get the required result. So this is all for today. If you would like to download the source code and play with it a little bit, you could just go to the website and download it. Yeah, so I think we could also mark this one. Let's say we finished. It's not exactly what I had in mind, but you know, yeah. So now what do we have? Yeah, next time we will start working with borrowing information. Okay, yeah, after borrowing we will have to work with the fines table, and at that point you could say we finished everything. We will just need to create the backup restore for our application, our own backup and restore thing here. Yeah, right now the progress about 70%. That's okay, I think. Okay, so thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.